All right, once again, get ready for the fastest hour in hockey. It's the real Kyper and Bourne show. We are live on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Sportsnet 960 in Calgary, 650 in Vancouver, and all your favorite platforms here at Sportsnet, including 360, Sportsnet Plus, and then there's our YouTube channel as well, where we love the chats, we love the thumbs up. Spotify, Apple, wherever you are, here we are. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Jake the Snake Schultz, Derek Brandeo, Chris Gallagher as assistant producer. This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. The news keeps coming in. Today, the Edmonton Oilers officially welcome back Mike Babcock.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
What decade are we in?
Hey, Mike's as old as anyone else in the NHL. All these coaches are in his realm. He's back.
Back in our day.
There's I don't know who the actor is. If he's an actor, he's just a fan. But there's an impersonator right now running around on Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah.
And he does Mike Babcock. And it's pretty good.
Yeah, Mike
Have you seen it?
I have. Mike
Very an impression of, you can do a good impression of him.
among the more parodyable, like Donald Trump, Obama levels of,
Yes.
A very distinct cadence.
There's pain
Yes.
coming.
Now,
I just
I did not get to hear the press conference live, but we have clips. We will play them. But from your perspective, very Babcockish.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yes, it is.
Dangerous
The press
word?
conference, well, it is dangerous.
Yeah.
The press conference was kind of what you would have expected, I think. Mike was himself. He was not overly contrite, but he was competitive. And
I imagine certainly not apologetic in
Nope.
any way, shape, or form
No,
on
but that's-
anything.
But that's the thing. Like in Mike's mind, Mike resigned from Columbus. There wasn't a thing that
Why did he resign?
'Cause
Because
it wasn't going well.
Because Columbus told him to.
Whatever the case was, my point is that he doesn't owe an apology.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Mike doesn't think he does anyway.
So there's
Sure,
people,
there's people who
there's
disagree with
people
that.
back there that are kicking themselves now because they thought it was a big deal of what he did, and now they're like now it's not that big of a deal.
No, I am not minimizing what Mike did. I'm saying that from Mike's perspective,
Yeah.
he doesn't see why he should have to apologize. Mike seems to be a narcissist in a way that it's like, he called himself Mike Babcock today.
He went third party.
He did.
He hasn't coached in the NHL in 7 years, and it's like we're going to do the Mike Babcock way.
He's the same guy. Is the only point
Not
I'm
bad.
making.
You got to be 100% in on Mike Babcock.
That's not the way we do it on the prairies.
That's Yogi Bear.
I will say, I didn't know that this was happening today. I found out when Elliot Friedman or somebody sent out a tweet. I was like, oh my
We
God.
said yesterday it was him and DJ
Yeah,
Smith.
but they said it, announced it this morning. I didn't
Yeah.
know that they were going to introduce it. Like the Leafs, I guess, waited a week until they're having their introductory press conference with Jim
Oh,
Miller.
they
I
had
think-
to rip the
which
Band-Aid
I
off,
think it's
man.
Thursday. But
It was get
this-
it over with time today.
watching Mike Babcock emerge from that room behind DJ Smith and Stan Bowman, I'd be like, I didn't have an audible gasp, but it was just to see him again. He's been gone since Columbus. Has he done an interview? Has he been seen in public? Has he been talked? Like this whole Mike Babcock thing started us being like, there's no way they do Babs. And that was like 2 weeks ago, and all of a sudden he's walking out there wearing an Oilers polo, and he's the coach.
After an investigation that they didn't feel it was worthy 7 years ago.
I'm stunned by all this.
It's all really like bizarro world
Yeah.
ish.
Yeah. But you think he should be able to coach?
I do. Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I do. I think it's a slippery slope on what you deem unacceptable and what others don't. And listen, my era.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So
this guy has a massive ego, everyone's saying, but you look around at some of the most successful coaches in history, and I think, what's Jose Mourinho, has he got an ego?
Jose Mourinho.
How about Bill Belichick? Like, like some of these guys, this is just...
I love the Jose Mourinho, the special one.
Guardiola.
You got it all. You got Eric fired up.
That we weren't privileged to methods to the madness of coaching, right? It was all kept internally. It never got out publicly.
What are you talking about? Columbus?
Anything about the coaches that you speak of.
Yeah.
Is whatever they needed to do to squeeze every ounce out of their players.
Totally.
Didn't get reported. We never knew about. It stayed internal.
Sure.
And now players aren't scared to call the hotline or tell an agent or, go to the PA and say, "You yelled at me."
Well, and I do kind of want to say my piece because saying positive things about Mike Babcock right now.
Dangerous game.
Oh, yeah. Like you're digging in against a hurricane.
Careful.
So all I'm going to do is share my experience with Mike, which was I was the video coach for the American Hockey League team, which who cares? And he was the head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he treated me great. He treated the staff around us. He said today in his presser that, like, everybody's got to be important. And I do believe he believes that. And I think that, things years ago were a little bit different.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a changed man. I'm just saying I didn't see it. And I'm not taking away from the people who did. But there are a lot of people who thought that he did a good job.
I think he's a good coach. I do.
I thought he got everything right in Toronto outside of...
I think there's reasons why you want him there. He is a good coach. It's the stuff that gets in the way for him.
Yeah.
And I think there's all walks of life, JB, where we could sit there and go, listen, he treats me fine.
Totally. But
knowing that he's just ripping on people around and you could, as long as it doesn't affect me, I'll just turn the other cheek, right?
Yeah. Well, no, and I'm not that type. Had I seen him treating the equipment staff like crap,
coach.
I know.
Where are you going to see it?
But I wasn't doing it on the roof. I was in the room. We shared a building.
I know, but he wouldn't. Like, would he be dumb enough just to do it in front of everybody?
Well, I don't know.
But look, what is it?
He wasn't dumb enough to do it in front of me, whatever it may be.
Well, I was going to say, what is it?
Yeah.
Like, just be a meanie?
If I saw it at all or heard about it, it would change my tune. I'm just saying that I didn't in my time.
Yeah.
So not to say that
I think he's a good coach.
And I don't think in Toronto where he did the thing with Mitch which was unfair to Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
Is there other stuff in those 4 years?
Yeah, Spezza. Opening night.
No. Don't do that.
I'm just saying.
Not playing a player is not cruelty.
Listen.
Not playing Mike Modano, his 15th, 100th game. Like,
yeah, that was crappy. That was crappy in
just crappy.
Detroit. That was crappy.
But not like.
It's not abuse.
Actually, it's probably just predictable.
Sure.
Listen, I had the take at the time that Nick Shore had a good preseason, though, so it was fine to scratch Jason Spezza. So I can't talk.
What was
Nick Shore. I think it was Nick Shore.
Drew Shore?
Drew Shore or Nick Shore. One of the Shores. Okay. Ajax boy, I know that.
Okay.
Listen, all you're saying, this, I understand, and I've made myself very clear on this. I think it's a bad idea.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is all a bad idea.
Yeah.
He's eligible to coach. Never going to say that. I just think seeing him up there.
I don't think their team's good enough and it's going to end badly.
He hasn't changed one iota. And maybe that's why they hired him.
Do you have a clip?
I do. We have many. I mean, we got a couple minutes before we get to Pagnotta here, but let's play the first one. The clip one. This has Rashog asking a question to him. It was the opening question of the press conference. Let's start with clip one, please, Derek.
Just wanted to go back to Columbus, or just maybe looking for some clarity there. You issued a statement after the guys on the podcast had talked about you looking at players' phones and such, and you basically said, this was irresponsible of them to be suggesting there was anything wrong with it. Then within a few days, when the PA looks into things, you're essentially exiting that scenario and John Davidson and saying you made players very uncomfortable. Mike, what happened in Columbus and why did you choose to walk away?
Well, I chose to walk away really straightforward, and I appreciate the question here. It was very evident before the year started. I hadn't benched anybody. I hadn't talked to anybody. I hadn't sat anybody out, and it was evident that we weren't together as a staff right from the get-go. My wife gave me a call, and she said, it's time to get out of there. I'd been retired. I was pretty good at it. I got back to being retired.
Yeah. I only made a sound there so people know we're still here.
It's almost Babcock karaoke.
God, the wife has some pull.
But honestly, it's like
You made 50 schmil, pal. You can just leave if you want.
these are. It's almost too Babcockian. It's just so fun. Okay, you want to play? Let's do one more clip. Clip 2 before we get to.
Hold on. Fried just tweeted that Šimon Nemec being traded to the Flames.
Oh, wow.
We can get into that in a bit.
Wow. I don't know what. I mean, do you want to play the second Babs clip now?
Yeah. I do.
Okay, let's play clip 2.
So, Mike, the reporting that's out
Another
there has
shot.
been about you looking through players' cell phones, asking them to share photos and such. Like, at any point, Mike, do you feel you stepped over the line with the way you handled that situation? And is there anything else that maybe we haven't heard about that happened there that resulted in you walking away?
No, to be honest with you, anytime you make anybody feel uncomfortable in your life, you should take a look at yourself and you should say, how could I do that better? And I think that's what you do as a person, is you try to always be better at what you do. The situation in Columbus, they've had a full review, and I'm thankful to NHL and NHLP for doing that. It didn't work out for us. We're excited about making it work here.
Moving on, baby.
He's not Mike Babcock if he doesn't make people uncomfortable.
That's the whole
it's
point, isn't it?
coming. It's
Yeah.
But
absolutely
look at him just walk.
coming.
Look at the look on it. Like he's just saying,
He's back, baby. Oh, but who are you kidding? Like, he's been sitting at
Hey.
home. He's been dying for this.
dying for it.
Oh, and also,
He's
Columbus
just-
didn't scratch the itch, right? The Oilers with McDavid, that scratches the itch.
Babcock 26. Here we
Jeez,
go,
this
boys.
is-
I can't believe it.
I would like to reiterate in my passive defense of here today,
Yeah.
this could go terribly.
Oh my God.
I'm aware of
so
it.
terribly.
I'm aware of that.
We'll get to we got David Pagnotta from
Fourth period.
momentarily here, and we got news on Calgary Flame trade. But the one thing I want to stress here is, much like the Toronto Maple Leafs with John Chaika, like they're under the gun right now for like immediate like results,
Impact.
their impact and results. He doesn't have time now to kind of put his toe in the water for the first few
He
months.
wouldn't know how if he had time.
Well,
No, he's a head first into the pool kind of guy.
he might, but he would have had more of an opportunity to be on his best behavior for maybe the first few weeks.
yeah.
He misses out in the first few weeks, man. I mean, it could go real south.
Well, DJ Smith's a good NHL coach. He's an assistant. So.
Well, part of him being there doesn't
Probably help.
All right, let's welcome David in, editor-in-chief of the Fourth Period, host of the Sirius NHL and NHL Network. David, how are you, my friend? Busy time, eh?
Good. Yes, very busy. As a big trade is now coming through as we speak.
What do you have for us?
Šimon Nemec has been traded to Calgary. So working on figuring out all those details, but New Jersey and the Flames getting in on what would appear to be, pretty hefty deal.
And the sense is that there wasn't probably Sonny, the new general manager there, needed to get him on a longer term deal here.
Yep.
Clearly feels that it's too crowded right now on that blue line.
Yeah, and it certainly seemed, as you mentioned, like he was looking for big money. Luke Hughes type, or in that vicinity of that type of contract. He's a restricted free agent as of July 1.
Yeah.
And they haven't been able to kind of come to terms on that. We'll see if the 6th overall pick is involved in this one. They've been, the Flames have owned that one, and they've been dangling that for a bit as well. But, certainly going through a rebuild in Calgary, they have a lot of other irons in the fire and other players that have propped up in trade discussions, be it Morgan Frost or Joel Farabee, Zach Whitecloud's name has been out there, Blake Coleman and others. They've got a lot of work that they'd like to do this summer in terms of their rebuild, but now you bring in presumably a centerpiece on that back end, and they've been working on their back end for a while. Calgary has been adding a lot of pieces to that blue line, going back to some of the other trades they made in season with moving out Uyghur, moving out Kadri, bringing in certain pieces, young pieces to that group, including some on that back end. And now you get a presumably what they would hope to be a future number one in Šimon Nemec.
Yeah, Elliot had tweeted that Nemec and Siplikov for a second this year. Vegas is first in 2027. Colorado's first in 2028. Both top 10 protected. And Etienne Etienne Morin. Anyway.
So clearly,
Interesting.
the big pieces are when it comes to draft choices would be at like a top 10. And
Yeah.
who do we really know has those in play? Is it San Jose? Is it Chicago, David? Can we see a 3, 4, 5 shift around here?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Kipper, I wouldn't be surprised. Like San Jose is, I think, interested in moving back a little bit if they regain assets or retain, additional assets in order to do it. I don't think they're overly interested unless something completely knocks them off their feet in moving that pick outright. But if there's an opportunity to move back, if a team like Vancouver is looking to move up a spot, if the New York Rangers are looking to move up from 5 to 2, I could see something like that kind of being in the works or in play for the San Jose Sharks. Chicago, they've got the 4th overall pick. And the word from the get-go was unless they were drafting 1st or 2nd, they were willing to move whatever pick they ended up with. They end up with the 4th pick. But it sounds like they're a team that's willing to move that pick in order to bring in an immediate asset. And we, of course, know that there's ties to Matthew Knies. They've got a lot of interest there. But that's the caliber of player that they'd be looking at in terms of packaging up the number 4 pick in order to move things out. We saw the number 9 already go, and Ottawa's actively looking to swap that number 9th overall pick in order for some immediate help. There's been some talk in the last 24 to 48 hours with Philadelphia as well. Those talks have resumed there between Ottawa and the Flyers. Winnipeg's pick's available. Seattle's pick is available as well. Those teams are looking. So the 7 and 8 pick also in play within the National Hockey League. And those are other scenarios where if there's an opportunity to move the pick outright and bring in immediate talent, I think those teams would be willing to do that. And we know Seattle's been trying to go for a big fish for a while. They've got Shane Wright that they're actively shopping. They've got the 7th pick. Maybe there's some room for potential there on a big deal.
You're watching and listening to David Pagnotta, editor-in-chief of the 4th Period. So, David, just to go back on Matthew Knies, we know that his name is out there. Teams are telling us his name's out there. The 4th pick overall from Chicago would definitely make a serious discussion here. If the Leafs could get in at 1 and 4 by Friday, there might be a more legitimate topic of conversation around Matthew Knies. What are you hearing?
Yeah, you know, that it wouldn't surprise me in terms of getting the ball rolling on a discussion. You know, with Gavin McKenna presumably coming in at the number 1 pick that we all believe, at least I do, and I know others do too, that's your pick. Well, okay, you've got presumably a replacement on that top line immediately for Matthew Knies. If you do move him out, and it is going to cost a significant package in order for the Toronto Maple Leafs to be convinced to do it. But the 4th overall pick plus certainly moves the needle and certainly, as you suggested, would get the ball rolling. I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago has circled back now with a new regime here in Toronto to see if the 4th overall pick, what other pieces might be enticing in order for Chayka and company to be convinced that this is a conversation worth having. But I wouldn't be surprised if, as I said, if Chicago circles back, because that's the exact type of player that they've been pinpointing to play alongside Connor Bedard on their top line in Chicago. That's what they're looking for actively.
David, I can't remember a time where 3 days before the draft, there's this many big names at play. Are we really going to see a lot of this stuff come through? Because it just feels like there's 30 names of good players that can be had. Or is it a bunch of people just fishing, hoping for a hit, and if they don't get exactly what they want, it's all going to be talk?
We're not used to this, right?
Right.
Like, we're not used to this level of activity. This is NBA style type stuff that we don't get that often.
Right.
But now we finally get it. We need to embrace it because there is a lot of talk. There are a lot of balls up in the air, a lot of players that are available. And yes, as this happens, obviously we're going to be hearing more names like Marchenko in Columbus.
Yeah.
Well, his name started to become a little more prominent because teams are poking around and hearing that, well, Columbus hasn't hung up the phone. They're at least willing to listen as he enters the last year of his deal, and he's still controllable as a restricted free agent next summer. So you're going to get some of that also in the mix. But when you've got all these other names that are out there, the Hellebucks, the Larkins, the Trocheks, et cetera, McTavish, and we just saw Nemec get dealt. there's a lot of interest from a lot of teams to improve and a lot of eagerness for a lot of teams to improve.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go fishing in the free agent pool exclusively anymore, especially this year, because it's so dried up as guys keep signing with their teams. And we don't have much. We've got Alex Tuck, and now we've got presumably Rasmus Anderson if things don't work out in Vegas, and then it dips a little bit. You still get quality, but it's not the sexy names that a lot of teams are looking for. And that's kind of where we're at now with teams looking to make impact additions. All these conversations keep happening. You're hearing, like, I'm very curious to see how the Ottawa Senators pivot here. I was told that Jason Robertson's their number one target. There's back and forth as to whether or not that's realistic for the Sens or not. And they are looking at alternative options as well with McTavish and others, that are out there. Going back to Calgary, I know that Ottawa has poked around on Zach Whitecloud for a while as they've tried to address their right side of their blue line. But there's also interest in some other players. I mentioned Philadelphia in those conversations earlier. I think there's interest in Owen Tippett from Ottawa's side of things. And they've got the 9th, they've got the 25th that they got in the Tkachuk deal. They're willing to pivot those and package those up for immediate impact pieces. They've been looking for assets to add on this club even before the Tkachuk deal. Now they're looking at 2 top 6 wingers that they wouldn't mind bringing in. So there's a lot of activity across the board, and you've got a lot of teams that are kind of lurking in the weeds like they always do. The Montreals, the Utahs, even Nashville now with Chris McFarland behind the helm. We could see some other interesting plays over these next few days. And if 1 or 2 things come out of left field, we shouldn't be surprised anymore.
David, getting Jason Robertson in Ottawa, from my perspective, would probably cost the Senators $14.5 million on an AAV. You really believe with the current contracts of some of their rostered players, Ottawa would be willing to spend that on him?
It sounds like it. It sounds like there's a willingness to go between that $14 to $15 million AAV range. And maybe that's a threat. Maybe that's what they're using to try to entice Jim Nill and the Stars to make a trade here. But it certainly sounds like as a primary target. And again, there are all these variables in place. Dallas, if they do trade him, could trade him somewhere else. They could up their ante and sign him themselves. There's a lot of different things up in the air. But in terms of Ottawa being Robertson being a primary target for the Sens, I think they're going into this with the idea that they are prepared to pay him a significant contract. And the ask from the Stars already seems to be pretty significant, well above the $12 million mark that Mikko Rantanen has. I think there were some conversations back and forth late last week that didn't materialize. And that's why we're seeing a bit of an uptick in the conversations with other clubs involving Robertson. But it sounds like that 15 million might be the sweet spot. And from what I've been told, Ottawa understands that. And I was told not to be shocked if they do any of it.
Which is
regard.
Almost double their next highest paid player, which is Stützle.
And his contract. Right?
It blows their structure out of the water.
But, we had heard that Seattle was willing to go to like 15 mil for Panarin, and the Kaprizov contracts at 17. Like these teams that are not necessarily the destination places, this is one of the things you can do. Say, we'll pay a whole bunch to play for us, and I'm curious with the cap going up if this is something we can expect to see more of.
I think the numbers are just going to keep going up, guys. Yeah. Like I think we're going to start to we need to reacclimate ourselves and readjust our brains to some of these numbers because with the way that the finances are going, the way the league is going, the revenue's continuing to go up. U.S. TV rights deal up in a couple of years. Canadian side's making adjustments going into next season. We're talking about expansion again after what's coming out of the Board of Governors meetings here with what may happen in Texas. Everything is on the incline, and that means the dollars are going to be on the incline too for these players. And, first line guys aren't going to be $8, $9, $10 million anymore. They're going to be 13, 14, 15 plus. And that's just kind of the nature of the beast. Like Quinn Hughes' next deal, Cale Makar's next deal in Colorado will probably supersede that of Kaprizov, and Hughes will probably be right there too. So it's a lot to take in. Certainly. And between the numbers and all this trade activity, again, we're not used to it. But I think we need to readjust ourselves a little bit because everything seems to be shifting in that direction.
The other curiosity I have here is there's a bunch of guys who were number one D once upon a time or thought to be, who are kind of the second pair guys now in Dougie Hamilton, Morgan Riley, Darnell Nurse. Here in Toronto, it seems likely that Riley's going. Do you expect all three of those names to switch teams?
Yeah, Riley and Nurse, certainly. I forgot the other guy you mentioned.
Dougie Hamilton. Maybe the Nemec
Hamilton.
thing keeps him in Jersey.
That might be the case, and there's a new regime there with Sonny Meta in place and whatnot. And maybe that calms the waters in terms of him sticking around. But I certainly expect Nurse and Riley to move on. And I know as of this morning, the Nurse conversations continued with a few different teams. I know Pittsburgh and LA are kind of at the top of the list. Philly's kind of in that mix as well. But it sounded like as of this morning that those conversations were still fluid and still ongoing, and Stan Bowman and company and in Edmonton are trying to find the right fit and the right deal that comes in. They'd like to free up a little bit of cap space as part of this deal. I don't think it's going to be a dump. I think they're going to get some type of quality back in return for Nurse. And then Morgan Riley, with how Toronto's trying to rejig their blue line and address some areas up front, they have a few different options here. Goaltending notwithstanding, they have a lot of different options here in terms of moving out Riley and perhaps addressing another area of their team.
David, we just saw recently Ottawa rip the Band-Aid off very quickly on Brady Tkachuk here. What's the feeling on Dylan Larkin going into the draft weekend here? Stevie Yzerman, I know, won't pull the trigger, I think, as fast as Staios. And there's maybe a little bit more of stubbornness on his part to get the right deal. Do we anticipate it coming this weekend?
I think in a perfect world they'd like it to happen. As much as Yzerman's going to hold his ground and try to maximize the best return they can for him here under the circumstances, I don't think they want it to be a distraction either. And semi-benefit as we're going into summer. Guys will be able to kind of get away a little bit and regroup. But I don't think this is something that they really want to prolong into camp. So I think the preference is, and the notion of that preference is, that this happens this weekend, if not in the next couple of days. But by the end of the draft, that they find a new home so they can move on from that. Now, the curious thing here is if they do move him, or excuse me, when they do move him, what's the return? Are we looking at immediate talent coming back, or is it primarily futures? And if it's primarily futures, and that seems to be where it's veering, then what happens with Alex DeBrincat? And some teams are starting to poke around there as well, from what I heard this morning. And then what does that mean for Patrick Kane, who's a free agent? Does he want to go back there? Does he want to look at other options? Does he want to go home to Buffalo? Is Toronto a spot with Matthews there? Are there other options as well? The effects of the Larkin trade, when it happens, is going to have a ripple effect on the rest of this team from the sounds of it. And based on the return, like I said, if it's primarily futures driven, that's going to impact DeBrincat's future there, and it could have an impact on Kane as well, and what else they do with this club. But I know this morning there were teams poking around in the last couple of days on DeBrincat, given what's happened with Larkin.
David, we'll let you get back to the phones, man. Thanks for doing this. Really appreciate your time.
You got it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Editor-in-chief of the Fourth Period.
Lots of stuff there.
Lots going on. Wow.
Yes.
Can we dial in on this Flames thing a little bit?
Sure.
Because I think just sort of quickly scrolling on the internet here, there's some people talking about how that's a pretty penny for the Flames to give up to get Nemec. I think would be the sort of the consensus from a lot of people.
It's the first from this year?
So
it's second this year.
So
just the second this year.
Yeah.
2026.
It's the Rangers second this year.
Yeah.
Vegas is first next year, and Colorado's first in 2028. Okay.
Those two first are bottom 10.
I'm so good with it.
I'm just looking, and I just went quickly to Calgary Flames cap wages page.
Yeah.
You can only have so many picks.
Exactly. You got to turn them into players at some point.
If you're trying to kind of take a next step.
I love it for Calgary.
If your scouts like Nemec.
6 picks in the first 2 rounds this year.
Is he any good?
I don't know. That's what I would be worried about. Because it's a lot if he's no good.
Was he a third pick, fourth pick?
He was high
overall?
pick, maybe second, Kip.
Maybe second.
Yeah.
Okay. He should have been what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, he's a 2022 draft pick.
2022.
Yeah.
Because that was the top two guys.
Should he be a bigger star right now?
Yeah, I think the Devils think so.
They're straight.
He's 11 goals last year, 26 points. You know, that's his career high is 26 points. He had a 34.
I like
young.
taking a chance on him.
Yeah, I do too. Listen,
do.
I think he's got offensive upside.
It's hard. It's hard to find good D. Sometimes you just got to take a chance on a guy that was projected as one of the best 18-year-olds in the world who
6'1",
had
190, right shot.
Had all types of upside that was never fulfilled.
Yeah, and they have Zane Parekh there, who's also an offensive dynamo. Got to believe with all those D. So they have the 6th overall pick. They're probably taking a forward now. You're looking at Vigo Bjork or Caleb Malholtra. You know, the Flames are going to start looking
so funny now.
good.
We're starting to hear like first rounders 3 years from now getting traded. We never heard that before.
Not often.
Nobody ever.
Very NBA right there.
Really, whatever it is, it's just like
The dangerous 3 letters, the Kyper of the NBA, turning into the NBA.
right. And
Giannis got traded overnight. You guys see that?
oh yeah, let's
trade.
be honest here. There's some guys employed right now don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care.
But if I have my job for 3 years, I'll be happy. So trade the one 4 years from now.
Exactly.
Well, so this is Sonny's first trade, obviously, as a general manager. Gets 3 picks. I mean, one of them is pretty close to a first rounder, right? The 35th overall pick for the Rangers this year is close to a first rounder.
Yeah, you got 3 picks in the 20 to 35 range. And
be interesting to see what there
I
are
don't
some
think
new
they're
guys
picking
around.
players.
No.
I don't think they're picking players.
You want to
Game time?
Yeah, do your game time,
Yes, sir.
and then we'll go to break, and then we're going to come back and get really into this Brady Tkachuk press conference and where Ottawa goes from here.
Love it.
A lot of people discussing our conversation yesterday.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Right? I think I touched on a few nerves myself.
Listen, we've
Trampled on a few.
We've been hitting some nerves recently around here.
It's an operation game, but we're really bad at it.
Or change the bulb on the game.
It's game time, presented by Bet365, an official partner of the NHL. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. Let's look at the Toronto Blue Jays, who look for the first time all season. Wow, I don't think all season.
Baby.
I think they were over 500, maybe like in the second series of the year. But since then, it's been a long time. And on the bump, listen, they have the best record in the American League since May 20th. I think they're 18 and 12 in their last 30.
Missed Kirky boy.
Yeah, they're maybe they're starting to.
Okamoto's
a star.
my dude.
Are we back?
We might be kind of back.
Are we back? Kipper, are we back?
We're back.
Okay, we're good. They, like I said, playing tonight. Shane Bieber making his season debut. The Jays are minus 125 tonight.
Nice.
Oh, today. It's right after our show. It's at 4:00. It's a day game because of the World Cup. So it's today at 4:00, right after our show. We'll be giving way to the Toronto Blue Jays game on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Croatia plays tonight.
Yeah.
Shout out Johnny Bravo.
Anyways, love the Jays. They're about to get hot. Give me the Jays today at minus 125. That was Game Time, presented by Bet365, an official partner of the NHL. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. And as a reminder, this hour of Real Kyper and Bourne is brought to you by Bet365.
You know what? Want to know why the Jays are back?
Tell me.
Because half the American
League stinks.
sucks.
Great.
They had the whole year to get it figured out.
Yes.
They got half a season. Not one team was any good, and now they're kind of
Yeah, and they're going to get healthier.
they're 1.5 up on the last wild card
Cards
spot
are
now.
going to come back at some point.
I don't know. They got a million lefties. I don't know.
Bieber's back sooner than I thought he was going to be. I'm happy with it.
Good for him.
Okay, let's take a quick break. When we return, more on the Ottawa Senators. If you heard our show yesterday, we had a few things to say about Brady Tkachuk and the Ottawa Senators.
I got more.
I got more too. If you thought I was a little hot under the collar, I got more after the break.
Boy,
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm
I'm
still a little ticked off for Ottawa Senator fans, and you're going to hear it when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne.
Having grown up in BC and settling out in Toronto, it's not exactly a hop, skip, and a jump to go visit my family. It's a haul, particularly when you're piling little kids into an airplane. But Kelowna is such a beautiful place to visit that we always stay for at least a week to make it make sense. Anything less than that just feels like it's not enough. Things have evolved though, and as my kids have gotten bigger and they're taking up more room at my mom's place, one year we decided to book a place on Airbnb. We love the extra space, but we also thought it was cool trying to find some neat new places, and we found some downtown near the sales and some out by
by the wineries. After a couple getaways, we finally realized, why not try hosting our place on Airbnb too? Hosting affords us that little extra income that offsets the cost of some of those trips. This summer's a great time to be hosting too, since both Toronto and Vancouver are hosting FIFA World Cup 2026. For us, making the best use of our place involves letting someone stay in the heart of Toronto's East End, all while we're out relaxing in Kelowna, BC. Your home might be worth more than you think. Find out how much at airbnb.ca/host.
Welcome back in studio. Racing against the clock as we jam-pack as much information in our 1 hour here on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. All right, Sammy, let her rip.
Time now for the precision headlines brought to you by the 2026 Acura MDX. drive like you mean it. And in those headlines, one Brady Tkachuk
Yeah.
addressed the media today in Sunrise.
Did we get any answers? Did you really feel like you can kind of put together or put to bed like how we arrived here?
Should we do the clip from his podcast, Sam?
Yes.
That might give us some help.
Let's just do that. Let's do Tkachuk clip 2, please, Derek, on him getting traded to Florida. Clip 2 on his podcast. Oh, what? My bad. Let's do clip 1. Do clip 1. My bad. Got it mixed up.
I mean, I've always said this that no, I'm taking you like if we weren't even brothers. Florida's always been the toughest games. These last bunch of years playing against just the way you guys play, and then the winning background kind of just shows it's all about winning. And you have guys that came from different spots, came from different teams, and found a lot of success. So, I mean, I'm just taking, and I made this decision with, taking you out of it. It wasn't about you. You know how much I love you.
That's nice.
You know how much I love you. But I just have always, every single time after playing you guys, just like, holy cow, that team is incredible, and they have a chance to win every single year.
I don't believe you.
Ottawa beat them 3-1 in their 4 games this year and had 99 points to Florida's 84. Anyway.
Okay, plenty to get into.
Oh,
Just on, first of all, the podcast moving forward. I think there's a real good shot within a year this thing gets shut down.
Oh, it's got to be over.
can we? I would
Right?
love that.
Did you watch the clip when they're with the dad?
I get one's in Florida, one's in Ottawa. But if you now move forward, and if it has the same type of vibe and the same type of ability to distract, that's not the room it's going to fly in. Ottawa, Brady got away with it because Brady was the alpha dog. He was the big cheese. Brady in that room in Florida might be 5th in line to the throne.
Yeah, but I mean, they still
Right?
had Matthew doing it last year. Like they
I
obviously,
know, but it was just still not really, truly affecting Florida.
Well, the only
like
team it
it
can hurt
did
now is Florida.
Ottawa.
Yeah. The only team
Right?
it can hurt now is
Now it can just hurt Florida.
Yeah.
And between Barkov and Reinhart, like that's not a room that they deal with a lot of distractions. They don't. They're
Imagine you had 2 brothers in your dressing room that were doing their own little podcast. Be like,
That's part of it for me. Is that like, are you now the Florida Tkachuks? Like, are you the traveling wingmen? Like, what? Like, what's the vibe?
yeah. You're between Marchand and Barkov and Reinhart
all right,
and
can we
Bennett.
just do hockey here?
You're not gonna get away with going and being the brother act.
Yeah.
A part of that clip that we just played, where he said, "Oh, it's not even about you. Like, you guys are just so great."
So it's not about his brother.
I just found like the unintended consequences of that. Him being so desperate to tell the world that he didn't go there because of his big brother. He's like, "Oh, I'm not ring chasing with you, but I promise it's because Ottawa sucked."
Yeah.
It's like
He totally did shine the spotlight.
the consequence. Like, you just made Ottawa hate you 10 times more than they already do. Like, Ottawa, you thought it was bad for Marner here. Like, he is public enemy number 1 amongst Ottawa fans. Like,
Well, and
people
like-
who defended him are now fully turned on. Like, it's just, that's such a bad clip.
And people love, like, even when Carlson and Stone and these guys had to go, Sens fans were like, we get it. They didn't want to pay you. Like, the owner was no good. We don't blame you for not, But like,
it was a tire fire at that point.
right. But like the Tkachuk stuff, it's like they pay you. They want you around. You're just choosing to piece out for a different team
And
in the division.
just a day later from our show, I'm still kind of hot under the collar on just how And the part that bothers me the most about this is that there seems to be a waving of the white flag that he didn't want to be here and we were painted in a corner and we just had to take the best we could get. And, and it's like, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. He still had 2 more years left. Mm-hmm. I would not have taken that package. I would have made him come back into the dressing room. I would have made him stay until I got a better deal.
First, I don't think that deal's bad, but that's a toxic environment you're talking about creating. You start a new season.
You know what's toxic? That return. I'm sorry, but you know how I feel. Yeah. You are going to now piecemeal. It's like Marner. You replaced Marner's $11 million with Nick Waugh, Michelli, and Dakota Joshua.
Yeah, you don't have to do
that. Ottawa's going to do it. Ottawa's going to probably do that same thing.
Can't.
Okay?
Can't. But yes, you might be right. I'm not saying that you can't.
The other thing too, is again, you don't have to get circle booted by Brady Tkachuk and just wave the white flag. I would have turned back. I would have turned around and started swinging. I would have charged Florida with tampering. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But if we have a full investigation on Babcock on phones, I want one in the last 6 months. I want subpoenaed, man. I want phones, emails, texts. I want it all. Okay? And I want to know what the hell is going on. Yep. And I want to subpoena Team USA's chat room.
Love this.
Okay? I want it exposed. I want it all exposed.
You know what?
I want an investigation. I'm not sitting there from Ottawa and just taking it.
Yeah. I just
preach, brother, preach.
Bang on, man.
Subpoena the podcast. Sammy, your point the other day?
Yeah. Comb through it. I think outside of Ottawa, I think a lot of teams are waiting for some other team to dig in on one of these guys asking out and saying, forget it. And maybe it's going to be Yzerman and Larkin. But there seems to be, because of what I said, in my angle, where it's like you can't bring that toxicity into your room, all of a sudden that gives these guys all the leverage that you have to trade me because it's going to be toxic. I do think that there are a lot of teams looking for someone to be like, well, someone dig in here against their guy and say, no, you don't hold the cards.
I know it would be uncomfortable to bring him back, but you got to make the playoffs next year. Use Brady to get you in the playoffs and tell him you're working on it.
They had 99 points this past year. It would be fascinating to know a week before the deadline if you held the Brady Tkachuk sweepstakes offering 2 playoff runs, if you could do better than that deal. But we are told every year the draft, this is the time where you can do the best. Everyone's in. Maybe this is the best.
I can't help but think about all this and all these American guys and wanting to leave.
I wrote about this today, by the way. Check out sportsnet.ca.
It would have just been a lot better if McKinnon just shot it in the net from the half wall.
I don't think it changes.
I do. The butterfly effect of all this, man.
I don't believe that. I've seen that, but I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
No. I think
the winning, the experience, all of them got to playing together, and they, instead of winning, they lose another one to Canada. They got filled in that final. It wasn't close. We're so far away. We can't win together. Turn on each other, not as loving to each other. It flips. Jack Hughes shoots one in the net in a 3-on-3 competition that doesn't count. Shoots it in the net, and they all get this experience of winning together. They all want to be together. I truly do think it's a massive butterfly effect. It's one of the most fascinating what ifs.
What has led to this, American players in the group chat and those guys going home, is the division between the two brotherly neighbors that has come starting back at the Four Nations face-off, where we had plenty of reason up here in Canada to be upset with what was happening south of the border and how we were being talked about. Canadian fans booed not just the players, but the anthems. There started to be this divide, and then it went to Italy, and the stakes got even bigger. And I think regardless, we started to see it more as us and them. Yeah. And I think that timeline did shape a lot of what's happening.
It's not coming back anytime soon.
And I had said this is the one part that's going to persist. I don't think Florida and Vegas are going to persist as like, everyone wants to go there. I think the American guys...
But they kind of do. They kind of do.
With those places?
Yes.
I think those places have something to offer, but so does Chicago and Boston and New York Rangers and Los Angeles Kings. There's great places to play in this league.
Well, not everybody can just go to two places, right?
That's exactly right.
And I think all what you said there is really well said. I just think them winning together is unquantifiable.
I'm kind of caught in the middle between the two. I'm not saying what you're saying is nothing, Sam.
And I agree with
but
that.
I'm not,
Winning together.
I'm not dismissing it either.
I'm with you guys there.
Listen, a night at that nightclub together in Miami can bring the boys together.
They're biting the gold together, and they're like, "I'm coming home."
Even
going to visit Trump together. And
yeah, exactly.
We're
Even
back.
going to the White House, right?
I do acknowledge
you're bonded and you're banned.
Yeah. But this whole part, that whole, I don't know, 18-month span for the two countries' hockey teams and the split happened.
Yeah.
I don't think it's forever, but I think that this generation of stars, there's going to be some persisting divide there.
Nathan, man, just next time,
Would help.
At that big thing with the mesh, right in there.
By the way,
he's done it a few times, Sammy. You don't have to worry about it. He'll do it again.
He did it against Finland.
He'll score again. Don't worry. Matthew Nyes, we mentioned earlier in the show with David.
Yeah.
If the Leafs can get the 4th pick overall out of Chicago for Nyes, and you end up with McKenna and a stud defenseman in the first 5 picks, do it.
Torn on this.
Here's what I'll say. I would do it for Willie Nylander, not Matthew Nyes. Because that way you can have this young core.
They don't want Willie. They want the big heavy guy to insulate Bedard. They take Willie. Now you need a big heavy guy to insulate 2 guys. They don't want Willie.
I get that they don't want Willie, but Nyes is a part of like this couple of young guys that, have a chance to build something around together. You take him out of it. It's the Brandon Hagel trade.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of Hagel. He doesn't suit our timeline because he's 25. What?
I kind of feel
Nyes doesn't have Hagel's jam.
He's not Hagel. I agree.
I gotta tell you.
I agree with that.
And he's got a bit of a soft melon.
Hagel's the high end in that deal for sure.
It's the two. It's conflicting on what you're trying to do if you're trading Matthew Nyes to me. Like we talked about it with the coach, where it was like, was it Joe Pavelski or was it Peter Laviolette? What are you trying to do here? You're signing Darren Radish to a $68 million contract, but then you're trading Matthew Nyes for the 1st and 4th or the 4th overall pick. Like,
it's not perfect.
What are you trying to do?
It's not perfect.
I don't get what your plan is.
Unless you're giving him someone for today.
Trading him for a top pair defenseman, that's a conversation I'm willing to have. For a real stud, that's somebody, I don't know who it is. But trading him for the 4th overall pick, I don't know what you're trying to do.
Wouldn't it be funny if you could do all of them? Like you did, do Nylander, do Matthews, do whatever, and get into the first round as many times as possible. Just have this wave of guys.
And Darren Radish with a bunch of kids.
Radish.
Firing bombs. Radish.
It would be fun.
It's Radish time.
It's radical.
Would you guys be shocked to see Hellebuck traded this weekend?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would be. You wouldn't be?
Not Leafs.
I've seen a lot of bad things about that guy.
I don't think the Leafs would go there. I could be wrong, but
also not Bobrovsky.
But I tell you what, Chega is not scared to swing a big stick right now, which is, I think, refreshing for Leaf fans.
Totally.
Well, it's the opposite.
And Leafs hosts.
It's the opposite of what Brad Treliving did. He's made more moves in the last week than Treliving did in literally 12 months. So.
But it's clear. You know the mandate. I told you guys.
Win.
Make the playoffs and win. So it's kind of Babcock-ish, where it's like, you got a year, guys. Yeah. You got a year to show everybody here, or else there'll be a lot of changes in 12 months.
It's funny.
But if they're good, do you think Matthews would resign?
What does good mean?
Like if they're in the playoffs, make the second round?
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
And it's trending in the right direction.
Yeah. Gets to play with McKenna. McKenna gets 70 points. Lighten it up with him.
Yeah.
I just said 70 because you made fun when I said that.
Get out of the month of October, but not 6 points out of a playoff spot.
Hiller's running the best power play in the league. Radish. Slappers.
I don't like when you talk positive. It never ends well.
You're right. I'll get down on him. Don't worry. Good stuff, boys. That was fast.
First pitch in like 15 minutes, Sam.
And before we go,
that was
the Precision Headlines brought to you by the 2026 Acura MDX. Drive like you mean it.
And a reminder, this hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Our thanks to David Pagnotta, editor-in-chief of the Fourth Period. We are back again tomorrow for the fastest hour in hockey.
I'm in.
I'm in too. Sammy?
We got to go. Yep.
Yeah, bye.
Go, Jays, go.
Enjoy the Jays game.